Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So you're able to see my screen, is it?
Yes.
Okay. So essentially, like I said, let me start with Falashruti. And my Falashruti says that what is in it for me, right? Meaning, in this case, it is what is in it for you guys. So there is something for everyone. If you are an SME owner, and I'm sure you must be taking so many initiatives, right? So how, and most of this initiative involves, decent investment in people, and usually the concern is यार ट्रेनिंग करूंगा लेकिन छोड़ देगा या चेंज करेंगे आप भी बदल जाएगा सो दोस काइंड ऑफ सिनेरियोस डू keep coming, especially in the SME side of it. So, do we still have something where we can get the maximum productivity in the shortest possible time? Now, that is what most of the SME owners grapple with. So, maybe today is a time I should be able to give you some glimpse of some solution around this. If you are one who is running HR department, what happens is HR keeps working, taking initiative, but still HR doesn't get necessary visibility within the organization. People say ठीक है यार HR वाला कुछ तो कर रहा है, but then visibility is missing. So maybe today we should be able to show you as to how to get this visibility because of this particular process. Then, in case you are a consultant, sometimes it might also happen that you are a consulting, you are owner of a consulting company, and then you have two sides, meaning you have to manage your people and you have to manage your client. Maybe this particular tool should help you become strategic partner with that client. If you are a coach, and this has been my personal experience, this particular methodology, usually it so happens that you start coaching after 1 2 3 sessions, suddenly the momentum is lost. With this methodology, I have seen actually people achieving success in whatever endeavor that they are getting coached. So for coaches also, this could be a very effective tool. And while all these things are there for individual, then I'll be giving this free access just for the personal use of it, right? If you want something from the for the company purpose, you can always approach for a smaller company. I can talk about how to use this and so on, right? So this is what we have targeted for today's session, right? So this is what you will end up getting by end of the session. So yeah, so having understood what is in it for me, let us see why do you take initiatives. You take initiative just in order to create clarity and focus within your team, right? To give you an example, say we are not improving sales, so we launch sales excellence initiative. Targets are clear, clear priorities, clear focus, right? So this is one of the biggest reasons why most of the SMEs take their initiative, right? And sometimes what happens is they also do it for energizing the team. That your routine is there, people are working, but unless you bring about some changes, constant upgrades, uh, people will start losing. They start feeling dull. So maybe there are some digital transformation programs, this customer experience upgrades, performance culture shift, all these initiatives. This actually increases it. energy within the organization, changes, right? Hopes increase. So this is another reason why you take initiative. What is one more reason why you take initiative is this: you, because of the initiative, you know, because of the discussions, you arrive at some decisions, and then um, that drives you to the action. So whatever, whenever there is a bottleneck which has built up, initiative tries to remove the friction, right? It, say for example, you try and do some process simplification. You may have 90 days turnaround sprint, cost optimization push. So all these things, these are the initiative, and these are some of the initiatives that people take. Now this is from the organization perspective, but even at an individual perspective, we say, chalo, now it is going to be 1st of January, and all, gym membership count goes up. Gyms are also very smart. They start announcing discounts, etc., towards the end of December. January say, yeah, then there is a lot of crowd. Pehla 15 दिन everything runs fine, and then slowly the momentum dies, right? So we know why we take initiative. We have seen that why we take initiative. Let us now see what happens after we take initiative, right? So what happens to them, right? Outcome quietly fades after first month. So many a time you must have seen, whether it is organizational change, or you see, first month energy is very high. People are attending meeting, dashboards are getting active. Month two, still things are moving. Some slippages here and there. Month three, people start, updates are reducing, review meetings are shortened. Your urgent work will replace the important work. So this is how slowly your initiatives start fading. Right? No announcements, no formal closure, just slowly fading. This is what happens to whatever that initiatives that we spoke. If you just go back, you will realize that practically, and it happens with everybody. It is not something that happens only to your organization or to yourself. uh, you know how Swachh Bharat mission is doing, right? So yeah, and when the initiative started, everything sounded very good. मोदी जी खुद झाड़ू लेके निकल पड़े थे, लेकिन now you see how things are, right? So this is, no, if you have to identify the reason why this is happening, so why things lose momentum, we we end up pointing towards, people are not motivated. Okay, or maybe I don't have the right kind of people. I mean, people are initially happy to be participative, and then they are losing the motivation. Right? People don't want to change. So I have a very recent case. Somebody approached me that, was 10 साल हो गया, I have been putting money into my business, but my people are just not changing. Unless they change, I will find it very difficult to run the business. So point is, we recognize that it is because of people that our initiatives are getting affected. Is that, does that sound something right? Any question till here? Any question?
No, I think so. Most of the time, either it is the motivation that fades, or either it is a team probably that changes in between the project, or sometimes a new dimension comes in the work, and then there is no direction given to them, and then it gets stuck. So typically this is the problems what we observe.
Right, right. So uh, that is that is what usually we also end up kind of diagnosing that okay, it is somehow people. I mean, things are stopping at people, right? But is that the real cause? So let us see what is the real cause. See, initiatives fail because now we have CRM, we have HRMS, we have ERPs, right? So there is a we even our own laptop has an operating system. But what is the operating system for execution? You know, so unless there is an operating system, I'll tell you about my own experience. Basically, you know that I've been into consulting for quite some time, and it all started with HR consulting. Most of my client, came back complaining about people. Sir, लोग टाइम से नहीं आते, क्या करें? How do we make people accountable? How do we, you know, ensure that they are disciplined and so on? So initially, I kind of my answer was, "चलो policy बनाते हैं," and there could be a person who is monitoring them their time, and time and attendance was my one of the biggest. It was bane of my life. HR person will hate daily arguing with people, and people come back with the argument. Oh, I was sitting late the other evening, and today I'm coming late. So why are you pointing that out? So these arguments were never ending. Finally, I decided, boss, I'm not going to be consulting any company which is not using HRMS, which is not using time and attendance system. Because only if there is a system can you implement the discipline. Typically, and this has been my personal experience as well. I do not know how many e-learning programs have you participated. I have, enrolled in any number of programs, and I don't recall of having finished even one. Why? Simply because that self-discipline is missing, and this is one of the biggest cause that because discipline doesn't have an operating system, it is going to, impact such a thing. So, what happens if you have an operating system? So, an operating system answers these questions. What gets attention every week? Who is visibly accountable? What data is reviewed regularly? Right. So, so if you look at uh, if the initiatives are being reviewed regularly, and if there is an accountable, if there is a person who is accountable, many a times I have seen. आप सवाल पूछना बंद कर दो, people will stop, doing that work. So, uh, it is very, very essential that we carry out a review, right? What happens then? Progress slips, right? Similarly, say most of the so they don't get prioritized, right? So all these answers will come from the operating system for discipline. Make sense? So what if I have to quickly go through? We say we take initiative. We want to increase our business. We want to increase. We want to improve our health. I want to make more money, right? And we start with the initiative. Then again, they fade, and we know why they fade. I mean, we feel that acha, it is because of the motivation, and but real reason is something else. Real reason is it doesn't happen because discipline does not have a operating system, right? That is a real reason. Acha, abhi if I know the problem, maybe I know the answer, right? uh, so how do I implement my discipline, right? So next question is always how, isn't it? तो अभी मेरे को ये मालूम है कि ये प्रॉब्लम है, ये सॉल्यूशन है. सो नाउ वी नो व्हाट इज द सॉल्यूशन or where the problem is lying. So let us see, is there any particular practice which can ensure that this discipline works, right? So that is, let us see if we have something on that side. Oh,
Shweta, can you be on mute, please?
Sorry. No, my system is hanged. Sorry. I'll just log out and log in again.
okay. So solution is something called focus framework. Now what is focus framework? We Let us look. Focus is all about just a moment. Focus is all about few things that matters. Now what does it mean? Here you see few things that matters, ownership and accountability. So this is the framework. Let us understand what this framework is talking about. We are talking about now what we try to do in one quarter. हम लोग जो कोशिश करते हैं ना, हम लोग ये करते हैं, चलो अभी हम लोग अभी ये CRM का रिवैम्प करते हैं, सेल्स की ट्रेनिंग करते हैं, कॉस्ट ऑप्टिमाइजेशन. सो देयर कुड बी any number of initiatives every department head wants to take, or even business wants to take, right? So this
Yeah,
is how our things look. Now, ideally, what we should be doing? Ideally, we should be doing something like this: increase repeat sales, have very sharp, very clear focus, which says increase repeat sales by 15%, reduce lead to closure time by 20%, right? Improve collection cycle by 10 days. Very sharp. Instead, how our initiative look like? Our initiative look like this: CRM revamp, sales training, cost optimization, digital marketing, and so on. But we should be doing this. So, if we do this, then the impact is like this. There is a clarity. You see, there is a clarity in the statements like this. There is a clarity. There is no confusion. The efforts are not scattered. And hence, it is the few things should be. See, in my HR career, during the recruitment cycle, you know, I end up receiving resumes where people talk about strategy. You know, that I've been doing strategy. I see even two person with 2 years experience claiming that I have done this strategy part of it. Now, strategy being a long term thing, here we are talking about something. मेरे को 3 महीने में क्या मिलेगा? I don't want to look at what am I going to get in 3 years time. I'm looking at what am I going to get in 3 months time, because then I can focus my effort, right? So just focus on those few things for those 3 months, achieve them, and then move on. That is what this few things is about. Now, typical situation what you see when it comes to ownership and accountability, uh, I do not know, and I'm sure many of you must have said through the interviews again, and most of the people come back and say we did this, our organization did this. Boss, I am asking about what did you do, है ना? ये we को somehow we need to kind of reduce. Why? Because it is actually merging everything. So here it should be very clear. Ritika owns repeat sales improvement. No sales team, no management. Ritika, no management. Ritika, that's it. Right? That is how the statement need to go. And when it goes to Ritika, her key result dashboard is visible. She reports on a weekly basis. She escalates blockers, right? And ownership moves from department to person. That is what is required, right? Then that is what we mean by ownership and accountability. So keeping focus. So when we say focus framework, first F was the few things. O is ownership, right? And the impact that you have is no diffusion of responsibility. It is very clear responsibility of an individual that you are responsible to deliver so and so result, right? So this is how you start structuring the activities within the organization, right? Constraint, bound. See, many, this is very typical of software solution companies or anybody who is into providing solution. Client will keep on increasing the scope. It starts with चलो CRM का इतना पार्ट करते हैं, अरे यार ये और एडिशनल नहीं हो सकता क्या, ये फीचर नहीं मिल सकता क्या. So slowly there is a scope which is creeping, final delivery when is अरे यार तुमने तो बोला था 3 महीने में हो जाएगा and now you still not delivered in 6 months kind of scenario. So why it happened? Because boundaries were not defined. Can we define the boundaries, right? So maybe we'll have to tell client बॉस होगा, लेकिन अभी in this 15 days only this much, right? So phase one of CRM only lead capture plus follow up tracking, nothing else. That's it, right? That is how you constrain the action, right? No feature expansion unless adoption is 80%, right? If people are not using, what is the point in expanding the system, right? So when you have a short term focus, you are able to exactly clarify the expectation. Does it make sense? So net impact is progress before perfection. Is the net impact of constraining the execution. So we have few things: ownership, constraint meaning define the boundaries, and then what? Next, uh, you end up seeing another typical situation. We end up looking at company review. Say there is a quarterly revenue uh, check which is going on. And even company reviews happen after whatever, sometimes monthly, sometimes quarterly, and it is too late to correct the situation. Right? That is how the normal work happens. But if you are using this focus framework, then you are doing this. There are you are counting daily outbound calls कितना हुआ, proposal कितने time में गया, right? What has been the conversion from demo to closure? So you are tracking these numbers. So once you track these numbers, you know what is going to be happening at the end of the. So even if news is bad, doesn't matter. You should continue to, check this. Impact is this: initiative lives. See, if I would have, ये नहीं हो रहा है, and then what happens is, slowly in the second month initiative will die. In the third month initiative will, in a way, actually end up dying. So if you want to stop that, have constant review, understand these numbers, right? And these reviews need to have. Here is a typical situation with the review. Initiative is reviewed enthusiastically in first month, second month maybe, third month it is forgotten, right? होता है ना ये सब, right? Now let us talk about system in action. So while this is a But if there is a system in action, you see there is weekly 30 minutes review, that dashboards are updated. The job owners, they start reporting blockers that why something is not happening. Leadership also helps them remove these constraints, remove the blocker. Acha, give me his number, I will talk to the person, kind of scenario, right? But this is possible if the system is in action, right? So even if results are bad, review must happen, right? It will give you very clear, you see what is the impact. Momentum is institutional, it is not emotional, right? This is the impact. So if we look at this focus framework, fo- start just focus on few things for a short period of time. Do not think in terms of a year or 3 year kind of element. For execution purposes, always focus on the shorter period, right? Ensure that somebody is very clearly accountable, right? Be make it very very individual ownership, and avoid group ownership. मिलके काम कर लेंगे, and I have seen this any number of time, and this happens especially with the sales. अरे इन लोगों को तो टीम में काम करना पड़ता है ना, so how do we measure individuals contribution, right? So here it is very clear that you can always break down the efforts for doing sales and allocate it to individual within a team. Then they can collaborate within and can get us the result. But never give any kind of team target. Well, at a at a higher level, you may evaluate at a team basis, but every action must be owned by individual. Right? That is ownership, because then you can ask questions. So that is ownership and accountability. Constraint, we say that don't give lot of width. Keep only focused, which says that just this much in this week, in this 15 days, that's it. Nothing more. Right? So, and monitor these leading indicators. And finally, have the system of review. So, any doubt about this focus framework? Focus framework, any doubt? Do you, how do you rate this as a framework? How does it appeal to you? Do you see a chance that, uh, do you see a chance that you will get results? Okay. So now we spoke about this framework. What is a management practice which will actually establish this framework? We spoke about the framework, correct? But is there a management practice which can actually run this framework? Has anyone heard of something called OKR? OKR is objective and key results. Now, objective is about directional. So objective is never, you don't put number to the objective. मेरे को लाइफ में बड़ा बनना है is the objective. You don't put any particular number to it, right? लेकिन मेरे को बड़ा बनने के लिए या मेरे को बहुत पैसा कमाने के लिए मेरा ऑब्जेक्टिव पैसा कमाना है, लेकिन इतने पीरियड में मैं इतना पैसा कमाऊंगा. That is what is the um, that is what is your KR result. Right? So objective is clear. This is मेरे को पैसा कमाना है, and my key result is ये पीरियड में कितना पैसा. So that is the objective and key result. Now, if I consistently on, I will reach a scenario that after if my earning is consistent, I will definitely make big money. Right? So objective tells you the direction I want to move, and key result tells you that you are moving in that direction. Right? And it is objective and key result. This concept was brought by somebody who coached Google, right? Google's owners when they were running the company. At that time, they had a coach, personal coach, who introduced this OKR framework. And now OKR framework is being practiced very easily within Google. And now many Fortune 500 companies are deploying OKR for their but you say, am I audible now or there is an issue?
It's fine now.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So okay, now it's okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Sorry. So let me go back to the share earlier that I was making. So without OKR system, you will find that everything feels important. With OKR, it is very clear. You formal think of the objectives. Just only three objectives we want to achieve in this quarter. Just 3 to 4 key results per objective. And one or two uh, you don't go wide with it. And that is not goals anymore. It is a strategic filtering tool. Remember one thing. So many people, because many people who are practicing this KR element for performance management, they talk about strategic. OKR is not strategic management.
Ramik, we are not
It is a
hearing you properly.
tactical
I think so. There is some network glitch.
It is a tactical management.
Shamik, we are not
Tactical
able
is
to hear you.
about, and focusing on something. Right. Getting अच्छा, just a moment, just a moment. Okay, am I audible now?
Yeah, perfect. Perfect.
Oh, thank you.
Keep this here.
ठीक है.
Vibration.
Okay, thank you.
ठीक है, hotspot on.
Okay, thank you. Okay, sorry for this interruption. Let me go back to the
So
presentation.
technology has its challenge, na? Still.
Yes,
Hence human touch is required.
yes, yes, definitely, definitely. So this is one. Okay, my recording is on. Let me start sharing this. Okay, I'm sharing my screen already. You're seeing my screen, right? My screen is visible?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so what we are talking about is that how do we use a management philosophy called OKR so that our focus framework fits into it. So with OKR, since OKR is not a goal setting tool, it is a strategic filtering tool, right? It is about which is very very technical here and now kind of activity, which usually and funnily enough, none of the management schools have been talking about the tactics part of the business. You know, all management schools, everybody start talking strategy, but nobody talks about the tactical. अभी मैं क्या करूं वो मेरे को कोई नहीं बताता. So here is how at least organization can run on a tactical basis. Right? Okay. Now ownership. Without OKR, what happens? We know objective is shared, improve sales effectiveness, everybody contributes, no one owns. With OKR, it is very clear. Each KR has a single owner. So and so, say sales ops head is to reduce the lead response time to 4 hours, right? Then increase the repeat customer rate by 35% owned by key accounts manager. Very clear, focused ownership responsibility. So OKR clarifies the ownership at a metric level, and objectives inspire teams, but KR exposes the owners. Remember one thing. So KR is very, I mean, it is a very powerful tool that okay, you exactly know who is responsible for what, and then you are able to drive it down. Now, OKR about a constraint. So without OKR, what happens? You improve customer satisfaction. It's a general, vague, expanding effort. Whereas KR is very clear. Increase NPS from 42 to 55. You see the clarity it gives. Boundary is defined, scope is constrained, outcome is measurable. Right? So a well-written KR is a constraint, and a constraint creates progress. We always usually, अरे यार क्या बांध के रखा हुआ है, but yeah, in this particular case, when आप बांध के रखते हो, then you see there is a progress, right? And how OKR works in the absence of OKR, how do you understand the lead? You say revenue is reviewed quarterly. With OKR, you know very clearly weekly KR tracking of proposal sent, demo to close ratio, pipeline aging. Now slippage is visible early, right? So all these things starts happening once you start implementing OKR as your management practice, right? OKR doesn't improve performance. They don't just improve the performance, they improve the visibility as well. And usually in so many organizations with SME, I have seen, a lot of visibility is missing. You know, everything is like family like situation. तो अभी क्या किसको रिस्पॉन्सिबल ठहराए, ये सब तो होता रहता है, बहुत सालों से काम कर रहा है, काइंड ऑफ सिचुएशन दे इट डज कम, right? But not with OKR system. In the without OKR, what is happening? You get monthly review. होता है, कभी होता है, कभी नहीं होता है. It has been my one of the uh, I mean, from the consulting side, it has been my struggle with so many organizations to institutionalize the reviews, because they don't want to get into review, they don't want to confront, they don't want to tell that this is what your responsibility is in a meeting, and they kind of avoid meeting and so on, right? But with OKR, what happens? Monthly, it is non-negotiable, reviews are non-negotiable, weekly KR check-ins must happen, monthly confidence scoring must happen, quarterly reset must happen. So because OKR, the objective is only for this particular quarter. Objective is never set for a year. Objective is only for the quarter, and next quarter we may carry a different objective or a same objective with a different KR. Right? That is what is. So there is a quarterly reset available. Cadence is built into the design. The very definition, objective and KR. So while OKR is the only three what do you call characters which are appearing, but there is something very very important underlying point, which is your cadence, which is your review, right? So your review is the part which is not mentioned in the term OKR, but it is the most important part because that creates the system. So what you review consistently survives. Any doubt on this statement? What you don't fades. Now you look it up. I'll look at our journey. We said we take initiatives, right? Why we take initiative? अपने को business बढ़ाना है, अपने को पैसा कमाना है, अपने को health improve करना है, and these are the reasons. What happens to them? थोड़े दिनों में यार वो discipline is causing the issue. People are leaving. People are not focusing. People are not good. They are not competent, right? But real cause is that discipline is missing. Not discipline is missing. The operating system for discipline is missing. Because discipline has no operating system. You are the operating system. Right? So we came to a situation that maybe a focus framework can help. OKR is the management practice which can activate the focus. ये अपना जर्नी हुआ है, right? Now here is a problem. अपने को सब ज्ञान मिल गया, but still this will fail. Why? Because frameworks explained is not frameworks enforced. अब ये ज्ञान तो मिल गया, अपने को मालूम है that focus is required, OKR is a helpful mechanism. I have all the ज्ञान, but it will fail because I'm not enforcing it. Right? I got the insight that why things are different from what I've been thinking, because I've been blaming people, but rather I should have been focusing on the system, right? But so I have got that insight, but it doesn't change my behavior. Focus without system relies on willpower. I am so, and there are areas of interest, and people are able to work consistently in the area of interest, but business or life doesn't offer us चलो ये तुम्हारा choice है, ये इसमें तुमको जो करना है कर लो, right? And in those areas people start displaying lesser and lesser willpower. छोड़ो यार, right? So that is what will happen with areas where your interest is lacking, right? So focus without system relies on willpower, which is not a reliable part. And willpower fades under pressure, right? अभी छोड़ो, अभी तो कुछ और करना है, अभी यहाँ जाना है, वहां जाना है, kind of. And I have seen people who are seriously running OKR. Even if they are traveling, they'll say, "I will definitely join in this check-in." Check-ins are usually very short duration. But they will definitely join, ensure that, and people also know that boss will be there right at 11, and we will be checking in. I have to report, and so on. So, such in a normal life, because this element is missing, even if we know that OKR can give us focus, and focus can give us our initiatives can sustain, but still it will fail because of all these reasons. Right? So, can we still have something? Can we still have something where um, can I have an operating system that we were talking about? Can I have an operating system for my OKR activity? So let us make the outcome stick. So what is happening is, uh, I will request you to visit this site. So especially if you are an SME owner, HR manager, consultant, coach, personal achievement driven individual, because what is happening, I have seen with coaches also. Coach takes you through the activity, but after a while, suddenly you will start losing even that coaching conversation also starts dying down. So I ended up getting somebody, or rather somebody approached me, sir, I can you coach me? I said I will coach you provided we move to OKR, and I am using this. Uh, so let us look at this OKR system. You go there, and right. So here very clearly you are able to define your OKRs. Here you are able to clearly define the OKR, who is responsible as an individual or as a team, right? And who is the owner, right? So I can change the owner, whatever. Now here, if you look at it, there is an alignment map. Are you able to see this? Hello?
Yeah, Shamik bhai, it's visible.
Yes.
It's visible, right?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, okay. Okay, so there is this alignment map, and alignment map tells you that these are the company's OKR, who is the owner of the objective and key results. So in this case, Sarah Michelle is responsible. Uh, what is the period for which this person should be giving result? What are the key results? Now, this could be for the organization. It can also be made and that was one reason I said I want to offer this system for free to individuals, because as an individual you can set your own targets, and I don't need anybody in my team. I know that I have to finish this work. Maybe I have to approach these 10 customers. Maybe I want to reduce my weight. I want to do my daily run. So automatically you are tracking. One of the I think many of you must have heard and tried something called gamification in your business, in your practice. One of the key factor about gamification is that it maintains the scorecard. Daily जब मैं देखता हूँ ना, हाँ, I walk 15,000 steps or I walk 10,000 steps, it keeps me motivating. So that is the benefit of. So forget about whether you want to use it for your organization or not. Even if you use it for yourself, and you keep on, targeting those small achievements, you will suddenly see that there is a huge difference. You can do this along with a coach, and you see there is a huge a difference in the results that you get for yourself. And here you get your visual experience as well, right? You get your performance report that okay, this is how my performance is looking like, that 60% is achieved. My OKR, this is what my OKR progress is. This is how I checked in, how has been my check-in compliance, how has been my collaboration, right? So all these scores are available, right? I can look at my performance, I can look at my team's performance, I can look at it, my organization performance, right? So while I mean, as a system, one might feel uh, it has too many things, but it is. I tell you, my personal experience has been very good with this, right? So whether it is organizational achievement, whether it is personal achievement, teams achievement, I will definitely advise get on with this system. It is very useful, and yeah, just a minute. What is so it's very useful system. And what you can do is, if you want, you can request for this demo check, or you can. So Opportune has, so I have given link to the Opportune's site. You can use that and read more about it. You can write to me or call me, and if you need access, like I said, uh, to an individual, it is free access. So just write to me or send me a text. I will create an access for you, and we should be good to go. That is all from my side. Now, room is open for questions, if any.
Thank you, Shamik, for this absolute insight. At least I was able to take away something is discipline, consistency, focus. Keep reviewing, and reviewing. You said even in travel you get on the check-in calls.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, the crux is just keep checking in.
Yeah, no, crux is, of course, I mean, you give the target and then you keep checking it.
Mm. Thank you. I know all said and done, understanding the theory and practical implementation will differ, and the tool that you are suggesting is, of course, we would like to look at it.
So use this and
But is the tool useful across all departments? Can we define it even for the accounts and the support people, or it's primarily OKR from my past experience has been main free primarily or primarily for sales? So
no. So whenever we are looking for any change to happen, so if we are looking that okay, my accounts need to change,
okay,
because otherwise your normal things are working. But if you want, so I find it very useful for my induction programs as well, that whether everything is covered, because then there are I want to kind of check with the person after a week, 15 days, how has been the progress and so on. So yeah, applicable to every department.
okay. So that's where probably a little consulting piece would require how to create or define the OKR and how to measure it.
Right.
Okay.
So
Sure.
that is,
Thank you for me.
thank you so much. Thank you, Dhoni, for all the facilities. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Absolutely. I think so. The participant had some good learning sessions and they are also had a good takeaway, I assume.
Yes. Though they remain silent for most of the time, but that is fine. Okay.
Okay.
Signing off. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.